Well, hello there, 17 MKE family. I just got finished replacing the filters on my reverse osmosis system, and Michelle has mentioned that there are inquiring minds who would like to know where and how to install an RO system in a 17 MKE. So figured it'd be a great time to give you a little rundown. This video is not going to be a comprehensive view on how to plumb it, how to make all the connections. You can have a great conversation with ChatGPT. Whatever system you get, it's going to come with all the diagrams you need. There's tons of YouTube videos out there on the actual install. I'm just showing you placement of equipment and some of the best practices for how to set the system up for effectively boondocking and also for when you're working on city water. So let me show you the system. So, oh, come on down. So the RO filters themselves tuck really nicely behind your 3 drawers that are to the left of your sink. And I will get up a little closer and show you what I had to do. So if you remove your drawers, if your camper was built anything like mine, you had supports for the drawer slides in the middle of this space. I had to remove that and put the slides on these columns right here. Something I want to mention about doing that is work smart if you're going to do this. Don't just tear everything out and rebuild it. Install these side columns and attach them to your slides while the center support is still in place. And once you have these columns fixed at the floor and up under your counter, and you have the drawer slides all screwed in to the existing framework, then you can go back and just cut the supports and remove the center column. It'll make your life a lot easier. You don't have to guess where to put them. It's super easy to do it that way. But you will have to remove that center column to put your system in there. So let me zoom in here, show you the RO system. You can probably hear and see this is the Permeate pump of the system. If you don't know what a Permeate pump is for an RO system, you can have a conversation with ChatGPT about Permeate pumps and figure that all out. I'm not going to describe it here. Suffice it to say that it is necessary to make a system work efficiently off of a RV water pump when you're boondocking. So an RO system creates a lot of wastewater. It's called brine. And then the permeate or the filtered water is what goes into a holding tank. And it's about a 5-to-1 ratio. For every gallon of fresh water that you produce, you're going to have about 5 gallons of wastewater that washes out of the RO system. And if you're boondocking and set this thing up in a traditional setting where all that wastewater goes into your down the kitchen sink or the gray water system, you're going to fill up your tank in no time flat. So what I have done with mine, I've got the option here. This down here is your fresh tank fill, and this black tube is one of the Permeate or RO system wastewater tubes. And I made it just run into the fresh tank system. So I'm actually filling up my fresh tank with RO system wastewater. It's called wastewater. Honestly, it's already gone through 3 stages of filtration. And even the wastewater from your RO system is cleaner than your city water. It's not a problem at all to dump it into your fresh tank and then just recycle it for filtering it again through the RO system. And we're only washing our dishes and taking showers with it. It's not dirty water. It is still cleaner than your city water. But we just run it into our fresh tank so that we're not filling up our gray tanks with RO wastewater. That is just sealed with butyl tape, just that kind of butyl tape putty. Just poked a hole in my fresh tank fill tube and ran that RO system wastewater tube right into my fresh tank. The way I've set that up practically underneath the sink You can see under here the you've got the, it looks red in this picture, but it's an orange tube, is what is supplying water to the RO system. I have you just tap it into the sink line with a T, and then that goes into your RO system over there. This black line coming in here into this comes into a T right here. And what I've done is I've put it into a T. This is the wastewater coming out of the RO filter into this T. And then I can divert it either turning this valve on, and that diverts all the RO wastewater down the drain into my gray tank, or if I turn this valve on and this valve closed like it's doing right now, then all of the wastewater from the RO system goes into my fresh tank. So I can choose if I want to run it traditionally, how RO systems are made to do, which is just dump all the wastewater down the sewer, or I can divert all my wastewater into the fresh tank. So with that setup there, I get to choose where my wastewater goes. So that's one of the key setups here. The other part of your RO system is the holding tank, or the expansion tank, and that actually fits really nicely to the cabinet that is situated to the right of your kitchen sink. And we put our trash can right in front of that and the holding tank right behind it. I've got it set up with these little hold down bracket that I found on Amazon. Straps it down, and I went through about 3 different tanks before I found the one that's the right size for this space. I'll put a link to which tank I got, save you some trouble if you decide to put a reverse RO system, because most of them are too big for the space. You got to get a smaller tank to fit in this space right here. But once you get the right tank, it fits really nice. The other thing to note about our setup is that we did upgrade the water pump for our entire camper. We got a Remco AquaJet 55, and the AquaJet produces about 10 more PSI, 10 to 15 more PSI than the SureFlow pump that your camper came with. And RO systems operate better at 60 to 65 PSI as opposed to the 45 to 55 PSI that your SureFlow is going to put out. Now, I'm comfortable doing that because I have also PEX'd my entire camper. I have replaced every bit of braided line in my camper with PEX. I no longer have any more braided vinyl lines in my camper whatsoever. So I'm totally comfortable running it a little bit higher pressure 100% of the time. So with that, I think I have covered all of the ins and outs of my RO system. And we'll post some links to the holding tank, remind you guys of what water pump we're running. Now, if you're not going to do much boondocking and you're just going to be on city water most of the time, don't worry about upgrading your pump. Don't even worry about running the stuff into your fresh tank. Just let it go down the drain like it would be if you had set it up in your house. But if you're going to boondock, then you're going to want to copy my system right here when you set yours up. So hope this helps, and happy camping.